Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of Conversations with Coach IT. I trust that you've had a great week and that you've been awesome, right? This week, we're going to, as you must have seen already from the topic, we're going to be talking about self-awareness. And don't worry, it's going to be more like a gist, right? And we have a very special, a very, very, very special person on board today. And very quick, she's going to be introducing herself shortly, but I want you to know that you're in for a great time today. And we're going to be gisting through all things self-awareness. What does it mean? And, just conversations in that line. Thank you very much for joining us today. We are so happy to have you.
Thank you very so much for having me.
So would you just please do a brief introduction of yourself? Thank you.
Okay, Coach Haiti, thank you for having me on your show. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, anywhere you are, all over the world. My name is Ibilola Olowookere. Now, this is the part I don't like. I just told it to know now that how do I box myself into? Because I'm so many things. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I'm okay. Career-wise, maybe that's what you guys want to know. Human resource professional with over 10 years experience. I'm a life coach. I'm a youth leader. All that. So anywhere you want to put me, I'm just so many things in so many capacities. But let's keep it at that.
A lot. Guys, I told you we have a box of goodies, like serious goodies here today. Thank you very much for that introduction. Like I said, we're going to be talking about self-awareness, right? And I hear many young people say, oh, what's this self-awareness thing about? Like, why is it even important? They've come again with the aspire to Maguire sort of thing, right? When we are hearing the awareness and the discovery and all of those things. So please, briefly, would you just share with us what this is all about? What is self-awareness all about? I mean, and why is it such an important thing anyway?
Thank you very much, Itunu. Sorry. Thank you very much, Coach IT. I need to get used to that title so that familiarism will not be bridging the gap. Okay, so self-awareness, a very, very important topic, a very important tool for anyone that is aspiring to be better, to be a better person, to be better at themselves, not only at what they do, but just to be an overall better person. So what does it mean? It's your ability, is the ability to know yourself. In fact, the way it's literally being aware is knowing yourself. So it's like self-awareness, your ability to know yourself. And when we say know yourself, how do you know yourself? You are able to know your thoughts. Mm-hmm. You are able to know your emotions. You are able to know your values. So for me, those three things are what make you become a self-aware person. Ability to identify your thoughts, ability to identify your emotions, and ability to identify your values. I'm going to keep it there and welcome more questions. Okay.
Thank you very much for that. I mean, that was concise and detailed at the same time, right? So you've talked about, at the most basic level, what self-awareness is all about. But to take this conversation further, would also like to know, what does it entail, right? So how does a person get on that journey? What does it look like? What does being self-aware, what does it look like really? And what does it entail?
All right. Thank you so much, Coach Haiti. So from that definition that I said, it's your ability to know your thoughts, know your emotions, and know your your thoughts, your emotions, and your values. So where does this start from? Of course, as young people, it starts at different stages of life for everyone. It doesn't mean that a particular age you must have attained it. Unfortunately, we even have some adults that are even still growing in that journey. And also, like I said, self-awareness is also a journey. It's not a destination. So, but the thing is, you keep maturing and growing in it. So how does it start? It starts at the point whereby you begin to ask yourself some personal questions. Why did I do what I did? Or when you start analyzing feedback about you. So when you start hearing people describe you a certain way, If it pleases you, you want to note it. If it doesn't please you, you want to ask why. And you're not asking them why, so to say, you're asking yourself. So at that point, you're having a personal, a self-discussion, a self-engagement with yourself. But most times at that young age, when we receive such feedbacks, what happens is that we wrestle with it. How do we wrestle with it? We start to pick faults, we start blaming, we start calling names, we start, like, in fact, that's the moment where most of us young people will unfriend those friends calling us out. You understand? Like, you just stop being their friend. You don't like what they said, this and that. Yeah, for every bad thing or negative thing said about you, it might be completely wrong, but there is something to pay attention to if you want to embark on a self-awareness journey. So also thoughts, you need to come to a point whereby you can think through what you're thinking through. I'm going to say that again. Like, you will, when you start getting to a point whereby you are able to itemize your thoughts, you're able to itemize how you feel on your inside and ask yourself why. You're able to trace it back. It's a journey. I didn't start this when I was a teenager or when I was young, but I was able to pay attention. Then let's even talk about your strength, because self-awareness is not only about knowing what is not right about you. It's mostly even knowing your positive side, because this is what builds your esteem. It's what builds your self-confidence. This is where some people also take it further and they become too overly confident because they are sure of themselves. So it's also a thin line, but the goal is that you balance everything. So your strength, paying attention to what the feedbacks, the credits you get, what they say you're good at, and honing it and holding that as your, okay, this is me. No one can take it away from me. This is who I am. So like I said, knowing your thoughts. Why am I thinking this way? Where is it stem from? Is it from an experience? Is it a healthy thought? Is it negative? Is it positive? Then knowing if you're supposed to hold on to it or drop it. Then talk about your values, which is fantastic. If you don't know what your values are, honestly, you wouldn't know what you should be aware of about you. Your values determine what you decide to do or not. Your values determines what company you're going to keep or not. Your values determine how the extent of what you will do, where you will go, who you will become. So you want to know your values. And somebody will ask me, what are values? Yeah, values are things that determines what you do in life, right? It determines the actions you take. It becomes the force of the reason why I am doing this is because I believe in this. The reason why I'm doing this is because I'm guided by this. For most of us raised religiously, what usually stems, what forms our values is our honor and regard and fear for God. So we can't do things that we know that will displease God. And for some people, it's the principles your parents held you to while you were growing up. It had become part and parcel of you. So you know what you should do and what not to do. So those are the things that will become you, that forms your personality eventually. And sometimes there are good and there are bad. But like I said, when you start receiving feedback from people, from friends, even from your siblings. For me, mine started with my siblings. I got a and we're still going to get to that. Yeah. So when you, so from your circle of friends, from your siblings, sometimes it's not all fun. Sometimes they get to the extreme, right? Sometimes they say things that are too in excess. Do you understand? Like, it's not really about it, but there's something to pay attention in those words. So that's all about knowing, being self-aware. You want to pick what they're saying. You want to analyze it. Is it really true? Right? Is this what it really means? Okay, can I improve? Can I hold on to this? Or what can I make do with this feedback I'm receiving?
Thank you so much. What? That was a whole lot, like loaded. We can almost wrap up at this moment. I mean, you said a whole lot already, but I think we're going to squeeze out all the juice as much as we can get within this time. Thank you so much. So
You're welcome.
then another question that I now want to ask, I mean, you've talked from what you've said, you've talked about, knowing your thoughts, why you think the way you do, why you do some of the things that you do. You've spoken about values, you've spoken about people's feedback and how to appropriately analyze it, right? To know which one is right, even for the ones that are wrong, things to pay attention to. So I see, I mean, a sort of introspection, right? Like an inner work that needs to be done. And I mean, that is just so fantastic. Thank you so much. So what I want to ask now is, so I know that many people many times are caught in between the dilemma of self-awareness and self-discovery, right? What is that thin line? Is it one and the same, or is there a thin line in between both? I mean, we'd like to know about that.
Thank you. Really, even in some cases, they interpose it, like some will use self-awareness in place of self-discovery. But I think it's English, right? It's one leads to the other. You can't drop one for the other. Right. Do you understand? If you are discovering yourself, then you're already on a journey of awareness. That's right. Like I said, it's English usage, but really it starts with you. That's the first thing you want to know. It's that self, it starts with you. Right. It starts with you meeting with yourself. Yeah, it starts with you looking into a mirror, whether being a physical mirror or whatever is reflecting a mirror to you, or stands as a mirror to you. You looking into that mirror, in quotes, and knowing and agreeing with whatever you see. What do you name what you're seeing in the mirror? What do you name yourself? What do you call yourself? How does that image in that mirror look? How can you describe that image in a very honest approach? Right. Not you saying what is not. And that's why that's where feedback is coming from. Sometimes you don't even know some things about you. It's others that will tell you. Do you understand? So it starts with you looking at yourself and asking yourself, what exactly can I see in the mirror of me? Reflecting, having and that's why it's self. It is you talking to yourself. It is you engaging yourself. It is you asking yourself questions. What am I good at? What am I not good at? It's you asking yourself, okay, this is where I want to get to. Let's talk about this discovery now. This is where I want to get to. Why do I want to get to this destination? Why is this an image for me to achieve, to attain? Why is this a goal for me? Why is this person my model? Why is this a figure I aspire to become? How do I get there? The journey to achieving, to getting to your goal is you discovering yourself overly and overly and overly. So like I said, it's a journey. If you think at the age of 25 or 35, then you would have attained self-discovery. No. For every season of your life, a part of you would keep unfolding, depending on what you're into. Like you get into university, you realize that you can do some things you thought you can never do. Right? You realize that you can say no to some things, you can say yes to some things. After school, you start working, you unfold another thing. You get into a relationship, you realize that the things you thought you can't do, you can do. Right? Then you will now realize that, okay, since I realized that the things I want to do, I'm not even doing, the things I don't want to do is what I'm doing. So how do I balance it? Then you now gain control over yourself. That, okay, I can say I don't want to do this. That is another level of awareness. I know that I will easily fall for something like this. So the only way out is to insist to myself, I won't do it. So you start setting boundaries, limits. That is when you are in control. You're gaining control over yourself, that my feelings will not keep leading me. So this is then this is the point at which you say, I'm honing my thoughts. I'm controlling my emotions. I know how I feel about this, but I'm not justifying it because the end is not necessarily what I want. Do you understand what I mean? So discovery, awareness, it's interwoven. One leads to the other. You can't separate the two from each other. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you so much. You answered and gave us extra. You gave us Jara. For those that don't understand what Jara is, Jara means extra. Yes, you gave us extra. Thank you. And I like the part where you inferred that self-awareness is a journey, is a marathon, is layer upon layer. So you keep unfolding, you keep discovering literally. And I mean, it's just a very beautiful experience. Thank you so much for answering that. So another question that we would like to ask, or something we also, and this is what we do for many of our guests, is just to find out about their own journey. So in this case, we're talking self-awareness, right? Discovery. I would just like to have a bit of insight, like back gist into your own journey, right? When you're much younger, at what point you started the journey into self-awareness and discovery, what it was like for you, maybe some unpleasant things that you discovered, or maybe some pleasant things. Are there things that you've discovered that has also added up to who you have become today? So we just like to have, back this into that.
Sure. Thank you. And of course, I'm always eager to talk about what it was like for me in any aspect, because reflection is a very, very good tool that helps you to appreciate how far you've come. So just like every other person listening to us today, I was also there when I was in that journey of not even knowing what's up about me, like not knowing anything. It feels like everything sometimes appears good on the outside, but internally I wasn't just there. So I'm taking memory back even to my elementary school days, maybe in my primary 6, or that's supposed to be grade 6 here. And I have some memories of always feeling like the odd one out among my friends. Yeah, so I always feel like I'm not up to that standard. I'm not up to the standard of friends. I'm always like
wow.
That's how I feel. That might not be how my friends are making me feel, but that's how I feel. And it comes from, maybe I think it also stems from the fact that growing up, I didn't like the fact that we were at the church we were attending, there was so much restriction about how you adorn yourself, the things you wear. I don't want to mention names, if you understand what I'm trying to say, the things you wear, the things you cannot wear. So I just felt that every other person doing all that, they looked better, they had much more better things and all that. So that had a little bit of damage, not even little, had a damage on my esteem. And when we're talking about self-awareness, it's a journey that actually helps you to gain a healthy self-esteem. So that was damaged for me. And that's elementary school. So in secondary school, I started identifying myself, not even the, okay, no, let me bring it back to my sibling relationship. So with my siblings, it was also up and down. Do you get several bends, curves? It wasn't really straightforward. So when we're having maybe disagreements and issues like that, I started talk and I started express myself. The next thing I would just say is, "Oh, sorry, that's in Yoruba, is that you're shouting too much." Like even when I am right, I'm very sure that I'm right over this case. By the time they just say that I'm shouting, so because I'm shouting, I just become wrong. I lose that case, and it breaks my heart. So when I want to talk, like they're like, can't you talk gently? You don't know how to talk gently. I felt there was something wrong with my voice. So even the way I talk these days, that I'm honing my voice and all that, it wasn't a strength for me growing up. It was no. It was something that I felt I needed to do something about. So I'll have to come down low, hold my voice as if I want to pretend to talk, because I don't want to shout. But yeah, so my journey growing up wasn't pleasant with owning the things that are unique to me. I felt the things that were unique to me were not up to standard, were not things, I didn't feel good about them. I felt they didn't fit into some certain standard I formed within myself. So then that was with my sibling. Then also when I got to secondary school, so of course there's always opportunity to do debates, to talk, to speak on behalf. Okay, I was confident enough to go volunteer that I would be part of those coordinating the assemblies in the morning. So there were moments that I would hold microphone to lead the school and all that. Nobody complains about my voice then. Then I started getting that attraction, like that sense of attraction that, not that they were telling me how I speak, but they were always calling me to say, hey, you can do this. come and lead this, come and do that. And I was enjoying it. I was doing it. But still yet, I didn't see any uniqueness in it. I just felt, oh, probably they wanted me to do it. That's why I'm doing it. So all that went into, I got to my higher institution, to the university.
Wow.
So you can see that it's a long journey. So if anybody is listening to me, don't think that I had this rosy. No, till I got to my university, the early years of my university, I still had that wrestle with who am I? What are my strengths? What's unique to me? How do I respond? How do I respond to people? What's my like several questions I really don't know. Of course, I had issues with my friends too, those kind of friendship that you'll be fighting up and down and all that. You reconcile today, you fight tomorrow. But I didn't pay attention to anything that probably there's a feedback I'm supposed to work on. Maybe any one of them is constructive or not. No level of awareness to that point. So when I got to my 100, 200 especially, then I met my mentor. Like if I'm calling anybody my mentor, I just know that I'm referring to Pastor Ibilola Olowookere. She's my mentor. Like I just met her and a lot of things changed in my life. A lot of things changed in my life. The first thing was, number one, if she's going to describe me, she's going to call me, she'll say fine girl. So if you hear me calling you fine girl, just know that that's where it started from. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. So she started calling me fine girl. The first time she called me fine girl, I was like, maybe she made a mistake. Like, fine. It felt like I've not heard that fine girl before. Like, you mean I can be described as a fine girl? They're like, fine girl. I was like, so when she wants to call me, she will keep calling me fine girl. That's how she called me fine girl, fine girl, fine girl. To the point that I knew I was a fine girl. So the first thing I'm going to say
into
it came into my subconscious. Yeah. So the first thing I'm going to tell you on this journey is, who are you listening to? Who are you listening to? Who are you watching? What are they modeling to you? What are they inspiring you to do? Right? Who are you listening to? Who are you watching? And I have a point I'm driving out here, because the person you are listening to, the person you're watching, the person that you have turned to your model, are they making you feel confident about yourself? Or they are making you feel like that the height they have achieved is difficult to attain? Or you don't have, sometimes some people become models to us and they have become a semi-god that you think like you love them so much, but you don't believe that you can attain their heights. And they're not even speaking to you directly, but indirectly, the voice you're hearing is that it took them some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 magic to get there, but that same formula cannot apply. It's not applicable to you. So I started hearing her call me fine girl repeatedly. And that was one of the major things that broke that force of not even believing that I look good. Not to talk, because if you don't even believe that you look good, let's even talk. That's where your self-awareness comes in. Like I said, you look at your mirror. What do you see? If you cannot describe yourself that you look good, you will not believe any other thing about you. Yeah, because for every point in time, for every time you move outside, the image you believe people are seeing of you condemns you, does not validate you, doesn't make you feel good. So you will always be like you would shortchange yourself in several capacities. So I started hearing her repeat that fine girl, and that was the first solution. Then number 2, she started telling me things, reacquiring my strength to me. So you want to ask yourself, has anybody ever told you what you are good at? If nobody has told you, you don't have the right company. Or you need to ask them. If your conversations doesn't go around you reminding each other what you're good at, but the only thing you do is to criticize each other, condemn each other, or to be jealous of each other, you are not in the right space. Because your friendship at this level must be to celebrate your strength. When you criticize each other, it must be constructively, because words are powerful. Feedback it's so powerful that it gets stuck in your brain. You hold on to it for a long time. It forms your actions. It guides your thinking. And before you know it, if it's negative, it makes you a toxic person. If you know what I mean. So that was how my journey started. My meeting with my mentor changed the course of my life, right? Then she started saying, you can speak. You can talk. In fact, she wasn't even saying that. She was giving me the mic to speak. She will have opportunity to speak. She will give it to me. Go speak. You can do it. I will be fidgeting. I will be afraid. Lala, you can do it. You can do it. So who is that model to you? Are they giving you the opportunity that would make you see that I have what it takes to do this? Are they giving you the platform, right? Some of you have mentors that you know that you can't have access to them. They are the people you are calling mentors. The people you have access to, you believe they're not popular on social media, so you don't want to associate with them. In fact, you will associate with them in the secret. My sister, you associate with them in the secret, but in the public, it's those people that you see. You know what? This is the point. This is the time whereby you want to focus on what is important to you. Who makes you, who brings you to that level of consciousness that you are good, you are enough, you are skilled, you have this, like, who reminds you, re-echoes your capacity to you. Because that is where those awareness, your awareness, even though it's a self-discovery, but the fundament, it lies on what you're getting from other people. It lies from the feedback you are receiving from people. So if there's a fault in this feedback you're receiving from people, you won't even be able to move forward in your journey. So you need to recognize the strength and weakness. When I started hearing all that, then I started paying attention to my speaking, the way I talk. Then I started giving attention to the feedback I generally receive from other people. So when I'm amidst people, a group of friends, and somebody is coming randomly from anywhere, they've not even seen me, they would just say, I knew Ibilola was there because I heard her voice. So I started paying attention to that. That wasn't the first time, but I started paying attention because it's making meaning to me. I'm like, okay, I no longer see it as I was shouting, that's why they heard me. I saw it as my voice is unique, that's why they heard me. So you can see it's still the same thing. I'm still talking with the same pitch, but I have shifted perspective. It's not sounding like I'm shouting, even though I had shouting all growing up, but now it is, your voice is unique. There is the people you associate with, they go a long way in your self-awareness journey. It's your journey with you, but the feedback you're getting from them will determine what you see about yourself, what you believe about yourself. They need to echo your strength back to you. Your weakness, what happens? They bring it to you. But what? It's for improvement. So when it comes to you shout, I got that feedback in my place of work, where I was, the last place I worked in Nigeria back then. My teammates, they told me, but you know what? I didn't take it personal. So I started getting conscious that when I'm indoor, when I'm in a closed environment, I caution before I talk. So I don't, so I realized that when I'm excited, that's when my voice goes up. Do you get? So when I see that I'm excited, I started taking conscious effort to say, I'm going to use a low pitch, even if I want to laugh, I want to laugh out loud. So you can see that eventually the weakness, I am adjusting it. Am I there yet? No. But am I moving forward? Fantastic. Am I happy with me? Yes. Am I proud of my uniqueness? Yes. Yes. And so many yeses. So it's a journey. You will get there, but it starts with, who are you listening to? Who is affirming you? Who are you receiving your feedback from? Do they believe in you, or they are also struggling to be known? These days, we have a lot of people also struggling to be known. Even though they are out there, they are still doing so much effort to be known. See, I'm not saying it's not good to have celebrity mentors and all that, but are they, like, you hear some people, what the feedback you will receive from what you have heard is that they've condemned you. They make you feel like you have not even started anything. You are not even on that journey. In fact, they make you feel like you don't even know your purpose. You've not even heard, like, they're not mentioning anything to you, but everything they said all stems down to the things that are, when you hear people like that, you don't want to hear them and become broken as if you've not started. No, you want to pick what matters to you. You want to sieve the content. Pick the ones you can hold on to, the one that doesn't make you confident about yourself. You drop it. Then you go back to that mirror again, that image that reminds you who you are. Then you speak to that. Ibilola, smart, confident, skilled with a unique voice. So what does she say? Encouraging people, moving people forward in their destinies. You start speaking what you want to see. And for your little wins, for every time you receive a feedback, you celebrate yourself. I'm not saying go and throw a champagne, but you get excited. Yet you let it bubble in your spirit. You soak it in so much that it drops off any form of negativity. I hope I've not said too much. I need to keep quiet now.
Oh my goodness. That was so good. I like how you brought in the power of the right association into forging ahead in the direction of self-awareness and your discovery and all of that. And that was just so phenomenal. So what will your final words be? I mean, you've said it all lot with everything that has gone on here today. It is enough for anybody to get on that journey and excel at it, right? So what will be your final words to, our listeners who want to get on this journey and, just discover themselves and make the most about, their personal discovery and their awareness? What will just be your final words to them?
Thank you so much, Coach Haiti. It's been a wonderful time here. So what will be my final words? I'm just going to highlight a few things I've said. Number one, self-awareness is a journey. It's a journey. No one has it all. Even the greatest of the greatest leaders, they are still discovering some things about themselves. They're still honing that journey of being aware, owning their thoughts, owning their emotions, revising their values, dropping some that are not feeding them again or serving them again, picking up new ones that they believe is going to take them to the destination they are looking forward to. So for you at this stage, don't hurt yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Just be comfortable with this journey. Don't be complacent. There's a difference between being comfortable and being complacent. Enjoy the journey of knowing who you are. Enjoy it. Be conscious, be active about it. How do you get active about it? It could be every quarter that there are several quizzes online that you can share with people on tell me things about me, tell me my strength, tell me my weakness. There's one of my mentees that usually does that, right? But when you do it, you want to be sure that the feedback, you would be constructive, you would receive it in a constructive way, not that you start fighting the people that that give you feedback. Because if you really want feedback, then you must be ready to hear the truth. The real feedback will tell you what you need to adjust on. But by the time they start saying, it's me, that's who I am, that's my makeup, that's me, you have to see, someone that is on a self-awareness journey, there's nothing like it is me. If it is you, it can be changed, right? You can walk, you can improve yourself. Self-awareness is a self-improvement journey. So every day you keep reassessing, every quarter, what is different? What are my goals? Then you also want to set a goal. So it's not really about sitting down and saying, I want to improve myself. I want to improve myself. Another thing is you set a goal. While working towards that goal, it could be a goal of reaching out to 2-3% in a year, right? People that are younger than you, because that's actually the fastest way to grow. When you are adding value to people, then you will realize that you are actually improving yourself. You don't want to add negativity to anyone. It's your positive side you want to add to people. So it also helps you to focus on your strength and keep building it. So I believe with these few points of mine, I've not confused you, but I've convinced you that you can actually attain self-awareness in your journey. You are good, you are whole, you're wonderful, you are beautiful. You wouldn't allow anyone to talk you out of who you know you are. You are unique. You have a purpose. No matter how so big the word purpose sounds, you have it. You have it. There's a uniqueness. And you know what? You will discover it every day as you keep progressing in your life. So I wish you all the best. And I want to appreciate Coach Haiti for bringing me up on this platform this morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time you're listening to it. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I like the part where you said that, self-awareness, the self-awareness journey is a self-improvement journey. So for all our listeners, thank you so much for joining me this week. And I am sure that you've had an amazing time with the phenomenal, I like to call her Ayolo, the wealthy woman married to a wealthy man. Thank you so much. And,
thank you, my darling.
It's been great. Thank you, guys, and have an amazing week. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have an amazing week, everyone.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you for joining us on today's episode. I hope you learned a thing or two. Please feel free to send in your questions and experiences to my DM on Instagram or as an email to conversationswithcoachit@gmail.com. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share with your friends. See you on the next episode. Bye.